At Blackfoot Communications, our mission is to connect people, businesses, and communities to their networks in Montana and beyond. Through Blackfoot sponsorships, local ambassadors, and public programs, we support initiatives such as the Emergency Broadband Benefit, fiber deployments, and community events. For information on our commitment to improving our communities with fast, reliable, and secure internet access, go to blackfootcommunications.com/news.
Just trying to give him some love.
All right, guys. Trav, why don't we just open with you? Obviously getting a big win, 11th straight home win over the Cats, and being able to kind of get revenge after the one in Bozeman.
Big win. We I watched our game in Bozeman maybe, 4 or 5 times. And it was a hard one to swallow because I thought our game plan was on point. I thought we did a good job of executing the things we wanted to execute. We had some foul trouble, but that's kind of been our MO. But the biggest thing that was hard to swallow was we just didn't make shots. I thought we played that game well enough to win. It's a 4-point game, 2.5, 3 minutes to go. We got the shots we wanted. They just didn't go in, and that happens. It's part of the game. And we walk away, fairly emotional about that loss. But at the same time, it gives you confidence at home because we typically shoot better at home. And so we had a lot of confidence going into this one. But at the end of the day, we needed to minimize their threes and hold them 1 for 8. Only get 8 attempts is huge. And then we felt if we could force 15 turnovers, we get enough extra possessions that we could put enough points on the board to be a problem for them tonight. And we did both of those.
You guys came out so strong. So what do you think of the mentality of these guys and sort of the toughness they showed for the duration of this game?
One, I think we have a tough group. I think we have a group that's about the right things. Guys show up early, win, lose, or draw. They show up early, they work. They allow our staff to coach. They want to be a part of success. So I think our frame of mind and the way we're built is about winning. And so I'm always going to be proud of them for their efforts and the way that we push forward through adversity. And I thought the last 2 days, these guys were focused. We had their attention. They knew, the Southern Utah game, we let that get away. And if we're just a little more focused through adversity, we could finish the game off, which is what happened today. And then it didn't hurt having a former MVP come in the locker room and give our guys a little bit of a push, a little bit of an attaboy in Kareem Jamar.
Brandon, you got to the rim, I think 4 times early and scored right in front of the student section. So, how much do you think that set the tone for you guys' good first half?
Yeah, I think that was like a big part of the game was just getting everybody going. I hit that 3 just to kind of start it off and then just getting to the rim. That's kind of what I do. So I think that is what set the tone.
Josh, what was your mentality coming into this thing? Because you had it cooking in the first half. You bank in your first one and then switch the one at the buzzer on your last one. So just take us through your first half.
Yeah, wasn't super happy about the bang. you take everyone you can get. I sort of just went into the game knowing I was going to be aggressive, score a rebound. That was the whole thing, and I felt like last time I personally, physically, didn't do what I needed to do to help the team win. So that was a big part of my mentality going in, and shots just fell for me.
Josh, it's a 6-point game end of the first half. You guys get the bucket, they get the illegal screen, and then that sets the stage for you. How do you feel like that sequence changed the game, and what were you thinking as you kind of come down and hit the 3 right before the end of the half?
I think it was made sort of going into halftime. We're pretty positive, turning a 6 to 11-point game. That's a big swing for us. They'd made a bit of a run back at us at that point, but to finish the half strong in that last minute was really good, and that's something we've sort of struggled with a little bit at times, is just finishing halves, finishing the end of games. So I got put in a position where he kept backing up, and I thought it was the right shot to shoot, and it went down, and that's a shot I practiced hundreds of times over the summer, so I felt confident in going in.
Josh, like you kind of touched on, Thursday, tough pill to swallow, but when they get within 4 and you guys had some hustle plays that kind of, helped separate you guys towards the end, I guess what was kind of the message in those final couple minutes as Montana State was coming back in?
Yeah, we got a tough group. We got a lot of guys who were willing to put their body on the line for the team, and I think that's the kind of thing that wins you these basketball games. It comes down to effort, and I think our effort was super tonight, and guys were really bought in on that, and that's why I think we walked away with the win.
And Travis, Danny, when he was in here, mentioned that he thought your guys' aggressiveness and energy was high, and theirs was the worst he thought he'd seen this year. So, I mean, did you notice that? I guess, where is everything you guys were kind of taking advantage, like kind of right out of the gates? Like, did you notice that?
No, I didn't really notice it. You notice that maybe a couple guys aren't playing well, and their mojo isn't going, and I think sometimes the game dictates that. We've struggled with the same thing, as we've had some games where maybe 2 or 3 guys that just don't really have their mojo, and some of it is because they're not making shots, or their man that they're guarding is. Adversity does that to guys. These games are hard, and so I wouldn't say that these guys didn't show up. I just think that the way the game went, some guys, just never really got it going, and that happens. But those are probably the same guys that played very well against us last time. So that's kind of how it happens, and hopefully we see them again on a Saturday, and we get a chance to do this thing one more time.
Coach, there's a scuffle right in front of the bench, like 2 minutes and 18 seconds left, and then there was a timeout, and it looked like Josh kind of got into everybody. So what'd you think of him sort of taking control of the huddle there and kind of reigniting you guys?
It's called refusing to lose, and we had some adversity. We turned the ball over. I thought some guys got hesitant, didn't really want to make plays, and maybe looking for someone else to do it. And before I fired into the guys, he did it. And I think that when you hold yourself accountable, you can do that. And I think that those guys needed to hear from a teammate, like, no, we're not losing this game. Let's figure it out. Let's make it happen. Let's go. And I really didn't have a whole lot to say in the timeout after that. I just kind of let the guys go.
What was it like for both you guys, having the first rivalry game at home with fans and everything like that? What was that experience like?
Yeah, that was sick. That was probably one of my best basketball experiences in my life, definitely. That's the most fans I've ever played in front of. The students were awesome. Love to see the students getting out to games. It'd be great. They continue to do so. But yeah, that like, you can't really talk to that. When the other team goes on a run, and then we make one play, the home crowd just erupts, and that sort of swings the momentum. Even if the momentum might not be in our favor, just having the home crowd, I think it's huge, and that really helped us tonight.
Yeah, just like he said, this might have been the biggest game of my life, to be honest, too. Since last year we weren't able to play them, but this year we're having the fans, and just having that atmosphere is crazy. So,
Coach, what would you say was the kind of the X's and O's game with Bello inside and kind of rotating guys with foul trouble, and then you guys doubled him a lot more in the second half, and he had a couple turnovers and kind of seemed a little bit more confused when that double was coming?
There's two sides to that coin. The first thing first offensive is we wanted to make him do some things that he hadn't been doing, and put him in some positions that aren't necessarily his strength. We knew that he likes to congest the paint, block shots and whatnot, and so we wanted to move him around and force someone else to protect the basket and have him defend on the perimeter a little bit. And then on the defensive side, we knew he draws a lot of fouls. That's what he does. It's a physical game. You've got to be physical to guard him. And sometimes the offensive player gets away with more physicality than the defensive player. So I told our guys, we've got 20 fouls to use. And we're going to put 4 different guys on them, and we're going to figure it out. At some point in time, we'll get the stops we need. I think the 4 turnovers we forced were the biggest thing. Obviously he was 6 or 7 from the floor, so he's going to make shots because he gets the ball so close to the rim, and that's hard to guard. But the biggest thing was to try to force some turnovers, and whether it was him turning it over or them turning over trying to get it into him, and we got just enough for us to get some extra possessions on offense.
One of the guys who got tasked with kind of guarding him was Kyle Owens, who came in and made some big stops and made some big baskets. So for a guy like him who's experienced this game before, I mean, just talk about, I guess, what he did for you guys tonight. Just, his minutes have been kind of all over the place this year, but he's stepped up tonight.
All hands on deck. We tell these guys all the time, be ready to go. When's the last time Fred Brown checked in the game? And we got a lot of fouls, and we needed to get through the half, and so the last 2.5 minutes are yours. And I thought he did a good job of being ready. He didn't expect his name to be called. Josh Vasquez, same thing. And so we talk about it a lot, and it's hard. You've got to have a very strong level of maturity to stay prepared when you don't know what your minutes will look like and when they will come. And I thought he did a phenomenal job of being prepared today.
We now knocked off kind of all the top teams in the conference. Like, what does this say about the potential of this team and moving forward?
We told him before the game, we've outplayed pretty much everyone for 20 minutes at some point in time. We're the first 20, second 20. Let's put 40 together and see what happens. I just don't feel like when we play the way we're supposed to play and we stick to the plan and we stick together, that there's no one we can't beat. If if we do it for 40 minutes. And tonight was an example of that. But that's hard to do. It takes a level of maturity. And you're looking at two guys who are in their second year of basketball, and most of these teams are being led by guys that are in their sixth year of college. And so their maturity is going to be, they're going to be a little more confident in these situations because they've been in them a lot more. There's some guys that have played 150 games. These guys, they haven't even gotten to 60 yet.
Josh, big win, but how do you harness the momentum now down the stretch here and then into the tournament?
Ball hog.
Yeah, we got two more big opportunities this weekend. Sac State, Northern Colorado, at home. Winning at home is something we've prided ourselves on all year. We've got to continue to do that going into these games. So really just lock in this week through practice, get ready for those two, and build some positive momentum going into Boise, because that's really what it's all about at this point.
For both the players, just kind of to follow up what Travis said about the maturity of this team, just being second-year players. Is this something you guys have noticed too, just throughout the year, winning these close games, winning a rivalry game now? Like, is this something you guys have noticed too with the maturity of this team?
Yeah, for sure. I'd say last year there was a lot of times where we'd find ourselves in situations, Robbie, Brandon, and I, three freshmen playing a lot of minutes, like at the end of close games with sort of some of the top teams in the conference. And I wouldn't say we weren't ready for the moment, but it was just different, and we were sort of learning. You get thrown in the deep end. I think now we've had a bit more experience. I feel like all three of us and the whole group, which was the biggest part, have a lot of confidence in those moments, and I think that comes from the work we put in the spring and the summer. Now there's a lot of belief in this team and what we can do.
Yeah, like he said, last year we had a lot of close games that we weren't just able to close out. I think the adversity, going through the adversity last year and coming into this year, that's something we harped on coming into this year. And so I think that's one of the things that we just did this time.
Anything else?
Yeah, I got to give them credit. They came out with an energy and a purpose today that we didn't, for whatever reason. It's kind of embarrassing, the purpose that we came out with. We were on our heels from the jump. They were driving us, they were attacking us, and we were like flat-footed, stuck in sand. That's probably the worst defensively we played. They hit 11 threes, but they're capable of doing that. They don't always shoot a bunch of threes because they're attacking downhill, but those guys are capable shooters, and obviously they showed it today. Even the 17 they missed were wide open three. They were wide open. It wasn't like we gave them resistance. They just missed shots, which we got to get a lot better at. By Tuesday. We got 48 hours. We got Southern Utah at our place, and we got to up the ante from a toughness stance purpose, and we got to get better.
Seemed like throughout the game you kept trying to challenge them. They had a hard time responding. So what was? Why was this your worst defensive performance of the season?
Because of them, their quickness, and they attacked us. They were getting wherever they wanted with the dribble, and we lost vision of our guys a couple times, and I thought Bannan was terrific, especially early.
Yeah.
He was actually terrific all game. Even when we cut it to 4, he hit a big time shot, and the other one, Whitney. Whitney kicked our butts all game too, just getting the ball to the rim whenever he wanted, and for them to shoot like that, and to have Beasley go 1 for 5, it shows what they're capable of, but. I'm disappointed in our effort, but I do have to give them, credit, 'cause, they made us play that way, with their aggressiveness.
Bannan had it cooking in the first half. Anything you guys adjusted in the second half?
Not really. He was making. He's hard to guard because he's 6'10", 6'11", and he's really skilled. And I think his first 3 that got him going, he banked it. And then Whitney, who I think had only made 4 threes in conference, makes a 3 early, and that kind of jump started him, and. The end of the half was, inexcusable for us, from a discipline standpoint. We talk about getting back in transition on defense. I think there was 9 seconds left, and we have 2 guys on the ball fouling. We give up 2 free throws, then we get an illegal screen, and they hit the big 3 at the end of the half. Instead of a 6-point game, it goes to 11.
It didn't seem like there was a lot of aggression from the 3-point line from your group. Was that kind of a intent to go inside and try to expose
It was, but they did a really good job guarding us out there too. They make it hard on your shooters, and our strength is playing in the paint. Driving the ball to the paint or throwing it in there and getting kickouts. And I thought our guys, I thought X did a great job getting the ball to the paint, getting it to the rim. And the shots that we did have, we had some wide open looks that we missed too.
X, did you notice anything unexpected that Montana was doing defensively?
Nah, not really. They're a good defensive team. They're physical, try to bump you out of your cuts and just actions and things like that. But I feel like they give them credit though. They did what they were supposed to do. But we weren't aggressive. Like Coach said, played on our heels, and you know that wasn't a recipe for success for us. But credit to them, they played great offensively and defensively. But yeah, we definitely weren't the aggressors tonight, and you know that cost us.
Did you feel that aggressiveness maybe pick up a little bit towards the end of the second half? Because you guys have won a lot of close games this year, you know, weren't really out of it. Like, did you notice maybe a change at that point? And is that why you guys started coming back?
We're always confident, no matter how much we're down. We know we always have a good run in us, and you know we cut it down to 6. And you know the ball, it was a couple loose balls that just didn't bounce our way, but that's just basketball. Things happen. You got to move on and play, get ready for the next play. But yeah, we definitely started being aggressive, you know, but it was too late. You know, we already dug ourselves in a deep hole early in the first half, and when you're trying to play hard and come back, you know you tend to run out of gas, and you know. But yeah, we dug ourselves in a hole, and it was hard to get out of.
All 4 games, counting the women in this matchup this year, the home team, you know, played really well. What is it about in these rivalry games that's just different?
We didn't play very good at our place either, by the way. So
we
won, but we didn't play very good.
What's it like playing a rivalry game on the road?
It's fun. Just me personally, from my experience, it's probably my first one. My last school, we didn't have a rivalry or anything, but it was fun. You could tell the energy was electric in there. Got real rowdy, and you know people are passionate about this, both sides, and you know it was definitely fun.
Danny, just from your perspective too on that second half comeback, just what were you kind of seeing and what was working for you guys? As you know, Xavier was driving and getting easy layups. Like what was working that got you guys back into the game late?
Yeah, we finally got some stops. You know, they missed some open threes, and we got some runouts. Not even runouts, but like we got started attacking the paint and getting the ball to the rim. You know, X did, and Jabril got some layups. Even great. You know, we posted him a couple times, and he had some nice post moves. And, you know, one of you guys just mentioned, you know, the key moments. You know, we cut it to 4. And we had a steal, and Kellen Tynes had it, like he had it and he just lost it really quick. Where if he could have got it and got to the rim and all of a sudden it's a 2-point game, it's a whole different thing. But I tell these guys all the time, like the basketball gods reward you for what you've done. And Montana deserved it today. You know, as hard as it is to say that, they deserved it, and that's why things like that happen. That's why those bounces go their way, is because they worked hard enough and their purpose was in the right place today.
You had a moment there at the end of the game with Coach DeCuire. You don't have to share anything you don't want to, but I mean, a lot of respect it seems like between both the head coaches in this game.
Yeah, I mean, tremendous amount of respect, you know, for him. And you know, he told me we've had a great season, and you know the respect he has for us and our program and the way we do things and act, and you know it's reciprocated. You know, I mean, there's obviously a reason he's had success. You know, not only here at Cal, at Old Dominion when he was a player. You know, he does things the right way, and his kids play the right way, and they play a tough style of basketball.
Parker, you've got one, and then let's.
I saw you nod your head when Danny said that this was maybe the worst defensive performance of the season. When you're out on the floor, what is the messaging when I imagine you can feel that the defense is not where you all need it to be? What was missing, and how did you try to correct it?
Just energy wasn't there, which, like Coach said, it was disappointing. You know, with the magnitude of this game, and the message is just keep trying to figure it out. Eventually, we did get stops, but like I said, we were in a deep hole. You know, didn't get a couple loose balls, whatever the case may be. But you know, we just got to stay confident, stay positive in the huddles, and keep telling ourselves, we're all right, we're gonna be fine, and we're gonna be fine. Tough loss for us, but we're gonna be good.
And Coach, just one more.
Yeah.
I mean, there's still regular season and tournament games left to play. So how do you not let this one, you know, trickle into the next couple of weeks?
Yeah, you know, I mean, we got to learn from it. You know, as emotional as this game is, you know, Tuesday's game is the most important game. You know, if we win that game, we at least have a share of the championship. And so we got 3 straight games at home. You know, hopefully the crowd comes out, and hopefully we play with, you know, the energy and purpose that we need to in order to get a championship.